This is a Louie Tee Network exclusive.
Who else could it be? Me! Your me! Louie Tee. Welcome, you are in the lab room, of course. I'm your host, Louie Tee. Thank you for joining me on this program on the 2016 NFL Draft Prospects 101 breakdown. Your guide to some of the biggest and hottest names in the 2016 NFL Draft. We're talking defensive lineman, the deepest position in this year's draft. And I got an enigma on my hands. This next one, boy, I'll tell you what, man. I'm splitting hairs over this dude because on one hand, I'm saying, boy, I would love my Redskins to take this guy. On the other hand, I'm like, man, let somebody else take this headache, man. But I'm gonna tell you what, watching the tape, I'm convinced this dude is a ball player, folks. And look, sign me up for ball players every day of the week. Now, the only thing I don't know is when he gets paid, how's he gonna react? That's a question that a lot of people have for this guy. Let's break him down and talk about him. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about one of the most polarizing figures along the defensive line in this year's draft, Robert Nkemdiche, defensive lineman out of Ole Miss. Let's talk about Robert Nkemdiche and why this is one of, to me, the most dominant defensive lineman in this entire draft class when he wants to be. Let's talk about it. 6'3", 294 pounds. I look at this dude and I'm saying to myself, man, this dude is freaky, man. He is freaky. Athletic freak is the next pro. You watch this guy run and you're like, how much? You weigh how much now? What did you say? Like, I watched Robert Nkemdiche and, Mike Mayock rants and raves about that Alabama game. Look, go do yourself a favor. If you haven't watched the game that Robert Nkemdiche played in 2015 versus Alabama, go do yourself a favor, turn the tape on. If you don't know who this guy is, or you don't know what he's about, go turn that game on and watch him absolutely dominate Alabama 6 ways to Sunday. Watch him take over that football game, tackles for loss, sacks, disrupting plays, blowing them up. He was a one-man wrecking crew in that football game, helping Ole Miss go to Bama and beat them for a second consecutive year. Elite quickness. You see it off the snap. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and lump these next two together. Elite quickness, explosive off the snap. My goodness, his first step off the snap almost leads me to believe that he knows the opposition's snap count. It's ridiculous how fast he gets off the football. And that first step, that first move is a killer. And if he wins on that initial move, you're done. You're toast. You can't stop him from getting in the backfield unless you hold him at that point. Okay? He's that good off the snap. He's that quick. It's elite. There's no doubt about it. And that's part of the reason why he's such a tough cover and a tough guy to block, is because he's so damn fast off the snap. And it's one of his biggest attributes that allows him to get in the backfield and play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Gap shooter. Boom! He's a gap shooter now. The thing that I hated about him and the defense that he played in at Ole Miss at times was that they played in a read front. And what that means is that you just shoot one way. You're not reading what's going on in the backfield. You're not trying to shoot a gap. Your job and responsibility is just to flow up the field in one direction. So he may, off the snap, say, all right, I'm attacking the B gap, and I'm just going to go hard up the field towards the B gap and force the running back to cut it back to my help, to the inside. That's what the defense called for him to do. It doesn't allow him to make plays, however, unless the play is going wide right into where he's running up the field. So to me, when he's at his best is when you just tell him, hey man, go shoot the gap. One gap. I'm not asking you to be a two-gapper here. One gap, pick one, shoot it, go up the field, go get somebody, go hunt. Okay? When he does that, he's at his best. Just go up the field, shoot a gap, and go get somebody, man. Lay him down, pow, pow. And so I love when Robert Nkemdiche shoots the gap, because that quickness that I talked about is on full display when he gets to shoot the gap and get up the field. And I'm talking one gap. Damn two gapping, because two gapping makes you have to wait. I want him one gapping and getting up the field and getting in somebody's grill and making them pay. physical at point of contact. You don't hear me say that very often. I always say start at the point of attack. No, this is different. Physical at the point of contact. Whether he's getting blocked by somebody and he blows them up, whether he's in the backfield hitting the ball carrier and running through him, whether he's hitting a quarterback and jacking him up, he's physical in everything that he does. He's physical at the point of attack. A lot of these defensive linemen, they make me upset. They make me very, very angry because they slip off of ball carriers. I watch Vernon Butler out of La Tech, and I love that guy, but he's slipping and sliding off of guys. DeForest Buckner, another one of these dudes, where he gets to a ball carrier and he's slipping and sliding, and the guy's running for an extra 5-6 yards because he didn't get him on the ground. That's not happening with Robert Nkemdiche. If he gets to you and he gets his paws on you, you're going down and you're going down hard. And so I love it. Physical at the point of contact. If he's getting blocked, boom, he's gonna lay you up. He's gonna put a charge into you and you be like, God damn, who is this dude? You know who it is. You know what he's about. You better come with your heart hat and your lunch pail because he's physical at the point of contact. Stop at the point of attack as well. So I'll go ahead and throw that in there as well. He can stand up to a double team. He can stand up to a single blocker, stand him up in the hole. May not get to the ball carrier, but he'll do his job and won't give any ground. Stop at the point of attack. Takes on double teams, and I just kind of glossed over that just now, but he's a guy that at one point I seen him get triple teamed. Okay, in a game early in the season, he was getting triple teamed. Okay, that's the kind of respect that he commands because he makes plays. And so he's a guy that takes on double teams. He'll try to fight through those double teams, and he'll stand up a double team. Won't get pushed out of the way, won't get jacked up. So he's a guy that does a number of things that I whets my appetite, whets my palate a little bit. And I'm like, man, I want more. Show me more. Feed me, Robert. Feed me. I want more. So then I want to go to his bag of tricks. That's the next pro. He does a number of things that just, it got me over here salivating, man. When I was watching the tape, because again, a lot of times, if you don't watch the tape for yourself, and you listen to all the talking heads and all of the draft beatniks and all of the evaluators tell you that this guy is this and this guy is that, then you're human, okay? We're human. So we hear it over and over again. We start to believe it, okay? So now we take that for just the truth. But if you don't go and do your own homework, you won't know. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't see a guy that was taking off a bunch of plays and you question whether he loves the game of football. I don't know. Again, I can't confirm nor deny that, okay? I haven't talked to him. I've never met the guy. I'm just going off of what I saw on tape. I saw a guy running, making plays, doing some things, okay? Bag of tricks, bull rush, spin move, swim move, hands, quickness. It's all there. He can do a number of things to get in the backfield and blow a play up. He's versatile. I just talked about all the different ways he can get into the backfield, whether he's rushing a passer or going after a ball carrier. I just talked about how you can do a number of things with this guy. You can move him up and down the defensive line. I wouldn't put him at the 1, but you can put him at the 5. You can put him as a 3 tech. I think he's comfortable in just about any scheme you want to put this guy in. I prefer to see him go somewhere in a 4-3 defense and wreak havoc that way because I believe in my heart of hearts that he is a 4-3 defensive tackle. I'd love to see him flourish in that kind of a system, but if you took him as a 5 tech in a 3-4 defensive scheme, I think he would flourish there as well. He's that kind of football player. Dual threat, and what I call these guys, they're EADers, okay? And what EAD stands for, equally as dangerous. So if you ask me, how is he against the run? He's damn good. What about the pass? Equally as dangerous, okay? EADer, okay? He's equally as dangerous going after the quarterback as he is stopping your running back for a 2-yard loss. Equally as dangerous. So if somebody asks you, how's he against the run? EAD. What about the pass? EAD. What does that mean? Equally as dangerous. You put him up against an offensive guard on 3rd and 7, he's gonna win. You put him up against that same guard on 1st and 10, and it's a run play, he's gonna win. He has the potential to win. And that's the question that everyone asks is, why aren't you winning more often? And matter of fact, let's jump into these cons. First con, perfect segue. Does he impact the game as much as he should? That's a question that a lot of people have for Robert Nkemdiche. we see how good he is. We see how he's able to make plays. I talked about that Alabama game. I can give you a number of games. The Auburn game, he made some plays. The Florida game, he made some plays. I can go down the list of games where I watched this guy make plays. Hell, the first game of the season, this man runs out of the backfield, catches a pass, runs up the sideline like a tight end, scores a touchdown from about 25 yards out. The man is versatile and he makes things happen. They put him in goal line situations. They'll give him the football. He'll be a lead blocker. They did a number of things with him at Ole Miss. He blocked a field goal in that first game of the season. Look, the guy is someone that I feel like can impact the game from a number of different positions. So why don't you have a greater impact on every single game you play in? That's the question a lot of people have, and that's the question he's got to answer. Some of that, I think, can be attributed to that scheme that he played at Ole Miss. The scheme he played in at Ole Miss was more of, a lot of times, that read front, where he's just running up the field and making the running back have to make a read off of his penetration into the backfield, and it didn't allow him to be a gap shooter like I like to see him do. So some of it is a little bit of the scheme. Some of it is him just wanting to go out and make plays. You have to want to make plays on every single play. Perception versus reality is the next con. Look, I just talked about me watching the tape and not feeling like he was a guy that was loafing on the field, a guy that you could ask the question, does he care about football? I didn't see a Manuel Agba out there where I'm like, are you even trying, dude? Are you taking snaps off? I didn't see that with Robert Nkemdiche. Okay, there was one play in the first game of the season in 2015 where he runs a stunt, and I heard the commentator say, see, that's what people, evaluators and scouts are looking for. Finish the play. He runs all the way looping to the outside on a stunt. The quarterback takes off. He's not catching the quarterback. He could maybe run faster and try to chase him, and maybe if he jukes somebody, he could come from behind. Yeah, I get that, but him slowing down on that play, I don't have a problem with that. I don't. It's not like he came to a complete stop and just started walking. I mean, he still was jogging, but he wasn't going to catch the quarterback. He had a clear lane in front of him, and he was going to be able to run for another 10, 15 yards, which he actually did on that play. So, again, I don't have problems with that. It's the perception versus reality. Is he really a guy that is going to be a nuisance on your football team? Is he really a guy that doesn't give you maximum effort? Is he really a guy that you have to question whether he loves the game of football? Because I didn't see any of that stuff on tape. So the perception versus the reality. Look, a lot of times with athletes, perception is reality. And even if it's not true, if it's said in the media enough, people are going to believe it. And so are the general managers and the scouts. And so they're going to have questions. It's his job to dispel any of those notions that he's lazy or that he takes snaps off or does he love the game of football. It's his job, and he didn't do a good job of it, if I'm hearing correctly, at the combine, of reassuring teams that he loves the game of football and this is what he wants to do for the remainder of his active career. You look at his last con, and these are real, okay? Perception versus reality, that's when you got some questions you don't know the answers to quite yet. This is up for no debate here. Off the field issues and immaturity. Look, at the combine, when he had his press conference, you know what I wanted Robert Nkemdiche to do? I wanted him to step to the podium and say, hey, even if you didn't do it, and this is a way of admitting but not actually being culpable, just saying, go to the podium, and this is what I was looking for from him. Look, man, I made some mistakes in the past, and I did some things that I'm not proud of, but, you know, past is the past. I've taken steps to make sure that doesn't happen again, and I've ensured all of those who care about me, all of those who believe in me, and all of those people who want to believe in me, that it won't happen again. And I take full responsibility for all of the things that went down, you know, in the past, and I'm looking to move forward now. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to hear him throwing teammates under the bus. Oh, it wasn't mine, but my name was on the room, so I had to take responsibility for it. But Laramie Tunzel, my brother, all of us was in the room. Why are you throwing names out there? Why are you throwing teammates under the bus, man? I'll smack you for that. What's wrong with you? You don't keep my name out your mouth, man. We ain't going. It's one of those situations where two of y'all in the store and y'all both trying to, you know, pocket a couple of pieces of candy out of the 7-Eleven. One of y'all get caught and the other one like, hey man, they caught us. Come on, man, they got us. Nah, they didn't get us, they got you. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't try to pull me down with you. That's immaturity. I needed him to show me a little bit of culpability, a little bit of maturity there at the press conference. Step up and say, yeah, that was my fault. It won't happen again. He didn't do that. So that scares me, okay? We know about the synthetic weed situation. Ask Chandler Jones. That synthetic weed is not a game. It's not to be played with. Ask Robert Nkemdiche. He jumped out of a window because of it. It's not a game. It's not to be played with. So we know he's got some off the field issues and some maturity things that he needs to clean up. But if you're looking for a top flight football player, I'm gonna tell you right now, there is not another, and this includes DeForest Buckner, there's not another defensive lineman in this entire draft that is more talented and disruptive and a big time playmaker than Robert Nkemdiche. Now, the battle that your organization is gonna have in that war room is pros versus cons. You're gonna have to weigh the pros and the cons. Look, we know what this guy is as a football player, but does he do that after he gets paid? Does he love the game of football? These are all things that you don't really know the answers to, okay? You're just gonna have to go out on a limb. This guy's a first round pick, and I'm hearing that he's sliding. I don't believe the hype. He's too talented not to go in the first round. Somebody's taking him. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if my Redskins stepped up to the plate at 21 and said, hey, Rob Nkemdiche is a watch the Redskin, if they turned the card in and his name was on it, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not be mad at all. Don't for 1 second think that I'm gonna sit here and be, oh, we gotta go. No, I'm gonna be happy because this guy's a football player. And I think if you get the right organization with the right players around him, you can get the most out of Robert Nkemdiche. That's his draft prospects 101 breakdown. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me so I can see to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. I got more defensive linemen to break down. Come on back so we can do that. There's plenty more where that came from. While you're here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more Louie Tee, be sure to follow me on Twitter at In The Lab Room, or you can like the Facebook page at In The Lab Room. That's In The Lab Room on Facebook and at In The Lab Room on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.